Yes, to economy news now. And Israel's electric grid was recently struck by one of the biggest cyber attacks in the country's history. This came to light at an annual conference in Tel Aviv, which points a spotlight on emerging trends in the high-tech security market. I-24 News economy correspondent Daniel Roth was there.
Crowds from around the world gathered this week at the Tel Aviv exhibition grounds for the two-day Cybertech 2016 conference, which is billed as the biggest cyber conference outside of the United States. True to the size of this conference, which included among the keynote speakers Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, one of the companies on the event floor was technology mainstay IBM. And one of the central emerging issues on the cyber agenda is balance between data security and infrastructure.
Cybersecurity is about protecting organizations from attacks not just to the internet, web-based systems, but increasingly it's about the Internet of Things, or what IBM would call a smarter planet. So think about connected cars. During 2015, we saw some of the first attacks against connected vehicles.
One of the other companies at the exhibition was Argus, which specializes in automotive security, an important new field as cars go from computerized to self-driving in coming years. And with Chrysler's 1.4 million car recall due to a hacking scare last summer, the need is clear.
3 veteran officers of the Israeli 8200 unit, which cybersecurity is their bread and butter, thought of what would be the next big challenge for IoT cybersecurity, and they came up with the idea of cars and connected cars. They seem to be the most relevant and promising area in which they'll be able to put their knowledge into practice.
According to the Gartner research firm, security technology spending is slated to grow from $77 billion last year to over $100 billion in 2019. And Israel is a major part of that, with 430 so-called cyber companies operating in the country. In the pavilion space, Israel's electric company was set up with CyberGym, an Israeli program to train companies to properly take care of their security needs. And the message there, too, was that there is a growing need for focus on material, not just data security needs.
Definitely there have been attacks. We've just seen the recent one in Ukraine, which is public knowledge now, although it was kept secret for a while, and we have seen others in the past.
Meanwhile, Israel is reportedly looking to put limits on exporting some of its advances for security reasons. And cyber in Israel is in its early stages, with nearly half of its companies still in product development, according to a report from high-tech database IVC. At the same time, Weave, an industry mapping startup, says that Israel's unique factor is the major investment from the Office of the Chief Scientist.
Before I made this map, the cyber industry or sector was just a blurb for me. I had no idea who are the players in the industry, how big the industry is, no tools to equivalent it to other industries. So the first insight is just seeing the map.
Here at Cybertech 2016 in Tel Aviv, it's clear that Israel is not only on the cyber technology map, but creating it. This is Daniel Roth for I-24 News.
Yes, and Daniel Roth joins me now on the News Today map. Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening.
Well, Daniel, we saw that you were at the Cytech conference. There was a very controversial remark there made by Yuval Steinitz, Minister Steinitz there.
Yes, so the minister announced that there had been a thwarted attack on Israel's electric infrastructure. Not a lot of information beyond that, not who did it, not exactly what happened, but that programmers were put into action and created a counter program and stopped this. That was the announcement. Beyond that, there's not really much there. But it really did play into one of the big themes at the conference, which was, the last few decades of cybersecurity has been focused on data security, protecting information that banks have, that retailers have, that your email account has. Now this is the new focus is infrastructure. This is where the industry is going. We saw Argus, we saw other examples of this. IBM's focused on that now. It's really sort of focused on infrastructure, and for a real reason. ostensibly.
And not just big companies like IBM, countries too are battling this out. China and the US are accusing each other back and forth of cyber hacking.
Absolutely, and we hear now and then sort of the focus of warfare is really online these days, that all the time China, the US, Russia, Israel, Iran, that in the case of Stuxnet, this American-Israeli program that was a virus in an Iranian system, it's really happening. Every now and then the secret comes out and you see some piece of data or some infrastructure actually get affected, but most of it is really kind of invisible to us. You go to a conference like this and it's sort of revealed that this is what everyone's talking about.
What was the highlight for you at the conference, Daniel?
I think definitely there was a booth with lightsabers. We got to ask them why they chose to be Jedis as opposed to be on the dark side. It was a lot of fun.
So you had fun at the conference. You came back with one big declaration for us, one thing that you have for us from there?
Yeah, I think Israel is really at the forefront. It's really interesting to look at what Israel's doing. So, this is one of the big takeaways, of course, from Cybertech in Tel Aviv.
Always interesting to look at what Israel is doing in all regards. Daniel Roth, thank you very much for that.
Thanks.